Hello humans, it's just Martine and welcome to week 2 of Squash That Series Readathon. This reading challenge is hosted by my friends Bailey and Kayla. I'll have their respective channels linked down below. Go check them out. If you want to see my week 1 vlog, check it out here. Cool, let's get into it. So where I left you at the end of last week, I had gotten like 25 or so % of the way into This World We Live In, which is the 3rd book in the Last Survivors Quartet. As of right now at 8:43 p.m. on Monday night, I'm like 80% of the way through that book. I may or may not finish it tonight. It just kind of depends on how I feel as I get ready for bed and stuff, because tomorrow is going to be a big day, so we need to be well rested. I'm actually moving back to college tomorrow, which is why I got my haircut today. My room is looking both messy and sparse at the same time because there are some problem areas that I was focused on packing instead of fixing them. And other than This World We Live In, I haven't read anything today. My main goals for the rest of the week are to read the 5th Artemis Fowl book on audiobooks so that I can check off audiobooking a sequel, This World We Live In, and then the 4th book in the quartet. And I would like to finish Children of God by Mary Doria Russell, I think is her name, which is the 2nd and final book in the series, whose first book, The Sparrow, I read pretty recently. It's a science fiction about Jesuits in space. So I've got big plans for this week for somebody who barely read today. But let's hope I accomplish them, and I'll fill you in as we go along. Happy Wednesday. It's 8:18 p.m. I moved back into my dorm room yesterday. If you missed my moving vlog, you can catch up on it right now. After work today, I caught up on a few YouTube videos watching, not editing. I need to do that separately sometime this week. When I'll find the time, I'm not sure. Now I'm going to read for as long as I'm able, truthfully, because I have this inkling that I'm not going to finish the books I'm planning on finishing, but I'll only ensure that if I don't read. So I'm going to read. And also, here's my thinking. 1, I want to read as much as I can for this challenge. But 2, if I start books that are in series that I've been reading, that is also a huge win. If I make progress in those books, that's also a huge win. The whole point is to get them off your TBR and be reading them. So I figure if some of these reads last a few days longer than the challenge itself, it's still within the spirit of the challenge, truthfully. Suddenly, Sunday seems really close at hand. I'm going to read, is it called The Dark Side of the Moon? I don't think so. Now I have Mulan stuck in my head. The 4th book in the Last Survivors Quartet. I'll read that for a bit. I'm currently at like 10% of it. Happy Thursday. The weather app has always let me down, like consistently, forever. And today was no different. I don't know why I thought it would be different. Right before I left for dinner, I checked the weather. It said that if it was raining, it would be a light drizzle for the next 34 minutes. I was like, I can do a light drizzle. That's fine. I started walking. There's no rain. I was like, hopefully I get there before the light drizzle starts. But again, the light drizzle starts, it'll be fine. But a light drizzle never happened. Not because it didn't rain, but because, and this was my bad, I should have known this, most of the time where I live, drizzles don't happen. Torrential downpours do. So I was walking along, nothing was happening. And then the first sign was that the world's largest raindrop hit me right in the eye, like flew past my glasses, smacked me right in the eyeball. The rain was like aggressively hitting me. It started slow at first, and I was like, oh, maybe I can get there in this, like just a drop or two at a time. But every second, it just kept becoming more and more and more until the sky was literally just dumping everything it had on me. It maybe rained for like 5 minutes before it was done, but I was outside for like 4 of those minutes. But the good news is, I read a few pages of The Shade of the Moon by Susan Pfeffer while I was eating my dinner. It's lovely stuff. I'm now at 42% of it. By the end of tonight, I'd love to be at or past the 50% mark. We'll see what happens. Part of me is like, oh, I should edit a video tonight, but I really don't feel like it. My work tomorrow ends earlier than it did today. So I'm considering just reading and watching YouTube videos and living that life. We'll see what I do. But first I'm going to change into dry clothes because this is ridiculous. I was listening to the 5th Artemis Fowl on audiobook, and then I suddenly panicked about a couple things. So I just sat down to do them immediately. And I was listening to my audiobooks for part of the time, but then I was like, I'm not hearing anything, so I paused it. So I did work for like half an hour that I was not anticipating to do, which is good. Like there are things I need to get done, but also not a little anxious that everything will be okay. It will all be okay. And now I'm going to continue listening to Artemis Fowl as I finish my step goal, which is what I was in the process of doing. So back to it. I was listening to my audiobook and staring at my printer, and I I was trying to get my steps, but then I thought to myself, I haven't wrestled with my printer yet this year, and I did bring it all the way here, so I should try. And a couple things didn't work, but then something did. Something that I know I tried last year, but I don't know if it will still work on other days. But the fact that it worked at all is a miracle. I'm not paying good attention to this Artemis Fowl book. I'm probably going to stop listening to it for now. To be honest, I have no idea what's happening. I'm not gonna go back and listen because I probably have the general gist. I was listening at some points. But anyway, while I get the rest of my steps, I'm going to read my ebook because I want to get to at least 50% of that. And if I just keep listening to my audiobook, I'll keep thinking of tasks to do while listening to my audiobook, and then I'll never finish my steps and have a real excuse to sit down and read. It's 9:48 p.m., which is around the time that I fell asleep last night, so oops. I definitely planned on like crawling into bed to read earlier, but then I got stuck in that YouTube rabbit hole that is not you watching your watch later playlist, but instead you getting drawn into random clips of funny scenes or bloopers, but mainly funny scenes from different TV shows that you've watched in the past, which of course leads to clips of Bo Burnham, which just never ends, to be honest. I got to 50% of my ebook and then I stopped reading, and now I'm going to start reading again for like 10 minutes until I fall asleep. Woohoo! It's Saturday night, and here's where I landed on Friday. I'm very close to the end of the 5th Artemis Fowl book. I'm still at 70% of The Shade of the Moon, and I'm really definitely not going to finish Children of God during this readathon. That's fine. I would love to finish at least the Artemis Fowl and The Shade of the Moon. Tomorrow's the last day. I am not going to read tonight because I worked for over 12 hours. My feet are killing me, and I want more than anything to do something mindless. Mindless. No mind required. I'm going to do that. Tomorrow, I don't work for quite as long, so hopefully I can have a mix of mindless things and reading. Tonight I just don't have the time to do both because it's already like 7:30 and I have to get up early tomorrow for work. That's where I'm at. Happy Sunday. It's like 2:30 p.m. and I was working all morning, but then I got back to my dorm room and I finished reading The Last Colony by Owen Colfer, which is the 5th Artemis Fowl book, and I gave it 3 stars. I definitely had trouble paying attention to this one, and also it wasn't as heisty as some of the previous ones. So like my favorites are the ones that revolve around Artemis Fowl's particular skills, and I just felt like this one didn't do it as much. It was a pretty interesting concept, but just not my style. But I am excited for the next installment of the series, and I used that for the prompt to listen to an audiobook sequel. So now I finished 5 of the prompts for this challenge, which is super exciting, and then I'm just hoping to finish 1 more book by the end of the day. I'm currently at 77% of it, so that should be no problem since I have the rest of the evening to enjoy. That will let me finish the prompt to read an entire duology or trilogy. Really, I'm reading a whole quartet, so overachiever much, but I'm going to wait to keep reading until 3 because Kayla and Bailey are hosting their final reading sprints for this challenge, and until then, I'm just gonna chill. And then I finished The Shade of the Moon by Susan Pfeffer, and I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars, and that was the 4th and I think final book in The Last Survivors quartet, which I was reading for like the read the entire series prompt, and also used for reading the last book in a series. So that's great. So in total, I finished 7 of the prompts, which is great, and I technically read 10 books for this challenge specifically. I read Paper Girls volumes 3 through 6, The Last Survivors quartet, all 4 of them, Crazy Stupid Bromance, then the 5th Artemis Fowl book. And that's it for me. If you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and comment down below. Did you participate in this reading challenge? And if not, what are some series that you want to continue soon? And subscribe for more reading, writing, and college lifestyle content. And until next time, bye humans, bye!